Yeah, come and take a look at the snow. Bright white as far as your eyesight goes. Come and take a look at the fields of snow. I'll just get my coat, then we're good to go. Come and take a look at the lake. Let's have a quick skate before it gets late. Come and take a look at the frozen lake. Put your clothes on, mate, don't make that mistake.
Greetings, holiday shoppers. There are now 82 shopping days left until Christmas, and I believe you know what that means. That means it's time for another spooky episode of Christmas Creeps, your one-stop shop for holiday movies and TV shows all year round. My name is Joseph Wade. I will be your super spooky host for Home for the Horror Days. Excuse me. Oh, here with me tonight are my co-hosts, Jonathan Five, the human robot.
Hey.
Hey, Jonathan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. It's a little spooky in here, though. I don't know. There's some weird fucking guy in here just talking.
I realized that I kind of weaved in and out of a spooky voice and then my normal voice, and I think I'm just going to roll with the whole Jekyll and Hyde thing tonight.
Okay.
That's more manic and creepy.
You're the creepy fucking guy. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a creepy guy in the room, it's probably me. Also, Mr. Bradford is here as well. Brad, what's going on?
Hi.
Mr. Bradford, the mouth organist, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing tonight, bud?
Some people say I missed my calling. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great. This is, of course, Home for the Horror Days, my favorite time of year, the most wonderful time of year, when we talk about Christmas movies that are also spooky Halloween movies. As is the case with tonight's film, Night of the Comet from 1984, a movie that certainly exists.
A movie.
That we are all clearly very excited to talk about tonight.
Yeah, and I liked it. The fight scenes were pretty great. Like, it was kind of cool how, like, you think it's going to be a sci-fi, but it's really kind of like a Western fantasy type thing. I like the robots.
I am racking my brain right now to try and figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, it starts out, it says, like, something about, like, it's a period of civil war, and, like, they stole some plans to a base. And there's a couple spaceships fighting.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's where the spaceships are fighting, and the guy is like playing the game, and he's really good at the game, so they ask him to fight the spaceships. And then the girl from Last Starfighter is there, right?
Yeah. Forrest Gump. That's what I watched.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Remember how Forrest Gump started in a period of civil war? That was great. No, before we talk about any of that stuff tonight, there is a little bit of a little bit of a yearly tradition that we like to have fun with here. It's the Freeform channel's 31 Nights of Halloween has officially kicked off, and I like to always look at the schedule to see kind of how things have changed and morphed over the years. Just because I'm a nerd and things like that interest me. So what I've done, if you'll go over to our website, christmascreeps.com, you will see a blog post that I've made detailing this year's list and comparing it to last year's list and beyond. But if you'll go over to the blog post that we put up on christmascreeps.com, you'll see Freeform's Halloween schedule from the 1st to the 31st. All decked out there. And then I have taken the liberty to count everything up and create a handy dandy chart so that you can see kind of how things have all shaken out. And the first thing that's immediately apparent to me is that
either you don't know math or they went to single digit hocus pocuses. How did that happen?
The number of times they're showing Hocus Pocus this year has precipitously dropped from its peak in 2019. They had in 2019 they showed it 30 times,
which is every single day. Or did they pull A Christmas Story and show it 12 times in a row, a couple of times?
You know, it's messed up. I think it was I think they showed it practically every single day, and then on Halloween they just showed it all day long.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They corrected. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, so the next 2 years it dropped like by half, and then this year it's only down to 10 screenings throughout the course of the month. So I guess thank the Lord for small favors. I really don't know.
I'm gonna guess that whoever is putting out fucking Hocus Pocus 2 is like putting the screws to them and kind of cutting them off, limiting their number of showings they're allowed to have.
Oh, almost definitely, yeah. But also, you got to think, like, this is Disney advertising a Disney movie on a Disney TV channel. And, you know, they're going to use that synergy as much as they can. So I'm honestly surprised that it's only 10 showings.
There are some interesting trends here, too. Like, last year was essentially Disney flexing that they own Fox properties now.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of that going on this year, but they're showing... Freeform is what they call... What was it? Disney Family? What, the Disney Channel?
Yeah, it used to be ABC Family. Yeah,
there we go.
Which is also Fox Family, also the Family Channel, right? Like these are all the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
And they're showing Get Out and A Quiet Place. I noticed this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure you can edit both of these films for TV.
Yeah.
But why would you?
Still not what I would think of as family watching.
No. I mean, they're also showing...
How do I explain the stair scene in A Quiet Place to my 2-year-old daughter after she watches... Never mind.
Well, I mean, you see, it's just... Sometimes robots just gotta push people down the stairs.
Have you seen A Quiet Place, John?
Yeah, it's the one where there's the robot that pushes them down the stairs to protect them from the terrible secret of space, right?
Yes. Got it in one. Yeah.
And I mean, they're also showing this year the 2018 Halloween reboot, which I can't imagine anybody at Disney sanctioning this, but apparently they did.
That's not the Rob Zombie one, is it?
No. This is the one from just a couple of years ago where it turns out Jamie Lee Curtis is like an assassin who's going to go kill Michael Myers. Fun for the whole family, let me tell you. Yeah, there's lots of interesting data points to pick at, so go check this out on our website at christmascreeps.com. One other thing I will note is this is the first year in 5 years that they are not showing the Addams Family at all.
What the hell is Happy Death Day to you?
It's the sequel to Happy Death Day.
What the hell is Happy Death Day?
It's the horror movie version of Groundhog Day.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So somebody just keeps dying over and over?
Yeah, it's a slasher movie. Someone keeps getting killed by a slasher over and over again, and every day they wake up and learn a little bit more about like who it is and why they're trying to kill them.
Oh, that trope. Got it.
Honestly, they're both pretty good. I
right.
definitely recommend those.
Huh. Okay.
Especially the second one, which leans so hard into it that it practically becomes a comedy.
All right.
But speaking of dumb horror that practically becomes a comedy, hey, let's talk about Night of the Comet from 1984. The first entry in this year's Home for the Horror Days. Actually, you know what? I completely forgot. I want to do a can check real quick. Who's drinking what tonight?
This stuff's good. I'm just gonna eat this.
Whoa, mailbag time.
Hell yeah, mailbag time.
Is Jonathan recording from inside of a bag of Doritos?
No, they should make Cinefuego Toast Crunch all the time, and they should also like deliver a pallet of it to my house.
The Fuego?
Cinefuego. They should give Lego to my house too, but no, Cinefuego Toast Crunch.
Okay.
It's what if the Cinnamon Toast Crunch was unnecessarily hot for no real reason, and it's the best fucking thing they've ever made.
I might have to try it.
Yeah, I got to try a little bit of that earlier today. It is potent. That's the only word I can use to describe it, is potent, because
you've piqued my interest.
It definitely hits you in the back of the throat. Not bad. Not bad.
It's apparently Walmart exclusive.
Oh.
Was Walmart.com exclusive? I found it in the store. I've seen reviews describe it as saying it tastes exactly like Red Hot's cereal, and that's a bad thing, and also reviews saying it tastes exactly like Red Hot cereal, and that's a good thing. I agree with the second review. The only thing about it is it's one of those things that's like, have you ever had the Jolly Rancher cereal? I think Multiple Meal might make it.
No.
It's cereal that tastes exactly like Jolly Ranchers, and your brain kind of gets mad at you because it's like, I know these two tastes. I know cereal. I know Jolly Ranchers. What are you doing eating it at the same time? Please stop that. Your brain kind of does the same thing with this. It's like, no, I know spicy candy and I know Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Why are you having these two things at the same time?
Like everything in your brain is telling you not to chomp down on the Jolly Ranchers, but the cereal says otherwise, right?
Yes, exactly.
Have you guys ever had Jell-O with Red Hots in it?
No,
but now I want to.
It's really good. My family makes it a lot for like Thanksgiving and New Year's. You take Jell-O, and I want to say you melt down Red Hots, and you take Jell-O and applesauce, and you like mix it all together while it's still boiling hot to melt down the Red Hots, and then you let it congeal, and then it makes like a hot apple Jell-O. It's really good, actually. I'm gonna have to track down the recipe. I'll give it to you guys. I'll put it on the Discord too.
That sounds tempting. Like I might need to try this.
Not a sweets guy, not a huge Jell-O guy, but I will get down on, and not even a red hots guy, but I will get down on some of that Jell-O. It's to die for. Actually,
I just want cinnamon flavored everything. Like, if the good people at G Fuel would make the Super Meat Boy flavor again, that's just cinnamon energy drink, that'd be cool. And if they could send me they could send a pallet of that to me as well.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that show was great. They don't make it anymore.
I never got to see that in its day. I'm sorry I missed it.
That was pretty fucking good. But then, because it's Halloween again, also the Mountain Dew Voodoo.
Oh, the Mountain Dew Voodoo is good stuff.
What is this Mountain Dew Voodoo?
It is like, so it's basically Mountain Dew mystery flavor. One of those mystery flavor things that they like to do.
But not like Dum Dums where it's just like the last of one batch and the start of another batch.
Okay.
This is very specifically like a flavor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And is it the same flavor every year, or do they mix it up?
My understanding is they mix it up.
Okay. Yeah, because this one says like Voodoo 4 on it, so it's either a video card or they do different flavors every year.
Right.
Well, if it was a video card, you wouldn't be able to buy it for its normal retail price.
That's true.
The market's crashing, don't worry. Yeah, but seriously, when I bought a computer 2 years ago, it was cheaper to buy a fucking computer off of Dell than it was to buy a video card and build my own.
That's insane.
The same fucking video card too. Like this computer is like a 2060 Super in it. That card, like actually in retail packaging, was like $1,200 on fucking Amazon, and the computer cost me like less than $1,000.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the Mountain Dew Voodoo. I've tried it, and my take is I'm guessing the flavor is like a cherry limeade kind of flavor.
Oof. I could get down on that because except for the whole Mountain Dew thing.
Well,
but
yeah, that's true.
I started drinking this always happens to me. I try a limited release flavor as soon as it's basically the production run is ended and it's the best thing ever and I never want it to stop.
Yeah, I'm kind of still sad about Coca-Cola cinnamon.
Yeah, I found a kombucha that's like a special summer flavor. It's GT Unity, and it's cherry juice and coconut and lemongrass. Oh, it's so good. It's like a cherry limesicle. It's delicious. And it was the summer flavor. And now it's slowly dying out at all of the markets. And I'm about to go and buy every single one I can find because, it's so good.
Yeah, my take on the Voodoo is like if you had a box of Sour Patch Kids and left it like on the dashboard of your car, and then you got back and you're just like, I'm not gonna let this stop me. I guess I'm drinking Sour Patch Kids now.
That's disgusting. But I support you. Yes, I support your degeneracy. It's all good.
Look, I just want everything to be cinnamon flavored or sour flavored. That's all I want.
somewhere between J5's take and mine. That's where Mountain Dew Voodoo resides.
All right.
So yeah. Also, when I went to the store to buy my case of Mountain Dew Voodoo last week, I was accosted by the guy running the meat counter because he noticed I had one of those in my cart, and he started talking to me about Mountain Dew flavors. This man was an expert.
I'm imagining like a sneakerhead, but for Mountain Dew.
Accosted, though?
I mean, he basically shouted out like, "Hey, you buying that Voodoo?"
Oh, all right.
So what should we call a Mountain Dew? We need like a catchy, like Dew-generates, maybe?
Dew-generates. I like that. I was gonna go with Doozers, but I think that's already a Jim Henson thing.
I think you're forgetting the very good Samal Doué. No, that doesn't work. Like a Mountain Dew sommelier.
A sommelier.
I don't know.
A
douchebags?
Douchebag. There it is. There it is. But no, this guy, he had an opinion on every flavor, and I started trying to like stump him. It's like, hey, have you tried the KFC flavor? Have you tried the Bojangles flavor? Have you tried this or that? And he knew every single one of them.
You got to go international. I'm sure there's some like Canadian only Mountain Dew flavor, but I bet this man has tried it.
Well, you see, that's kind of where I had to stop because I don't know anything about that, and I kind of.
Have you tried Mountain Wagyu? Japan exclusive flavor, dude.
I had to just kind of slowly inch my way away from there because, like, I don't want to stand here and talk about Mountain Dew all day.
Well, he works in the meat counter. He probably has tried Mountain Wagyu.
Oh, yeah, he probably has. You're right. Well, that was a fun digression on the state of our stomachs right now. So let's talk about this week's feature film, Night of the Comet. Gentle friends, first impressions.
It was good.
I liked it, actually.
It's not a good movie, but it's fun to watch.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah, it's a vibe. I will say it's definitely a vibe. I don't think it hit me as hard as it hit you guys. But we'll get into that. Where would we like to start?
Oh, yeah.
Well, usually you start by like saying how many shopping days there's at Christmas, but you already did that, so.
And then we delay talking about the movie by talking about junk food or other movies or video games for about 20 minutes. We already did that.
Yeah, we already did the junk food and the movies. We haven't talked about video games yet.
Oh my god, you guys!
How's Final Fantasy 14?
Oh, it's pretty good. I am going to try to get a medium house this week if I can get Karen to give me the money for it. Also, speaking of like horror days, Phantasmophobia custom difficulty update. Hell yeah!
You may as well be speaking Greek, but
it's Phasmophobia. It's the ghost hunting game.
Oh, Phasmophobia. I thought you were still talking. Yes, I do know Phasmophobia. I thought you were still referring to Final Fantasy 14.
No,
yes, I am passingly familiar with Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia.
The way you play the game is you run into the house first and you find the cursed object, wait for everybody else to come into the house, then you use the cursed object to make the ghost mad and it kills everyone, and then you laugh.
I am also afraid of Star Wars as Captain Phasma.
Yeah, they threw it in the trash though.
Yeah, I mean, like you do. I don't know.
Let's hear it for video games.
Let's hear it for video games. And speaking of video games, we're introduced to the main character of this film as she's playing a video game in a movie theater, which is
Joe is just dragging us by the collar back to the wooded path here.
I'm forcing you pack mules to carry me on this journey.
All right. So we're introduced to Regina, who's working in a movie theater. She's playing a Tempest machine on the job. But before that, we're introduced to the central conceit of the movie that a comet is passing through Earth's orbit, or Earth is orbiting through the tail of a comet that hasn't been in the area since the time of the big dinosaur extinction. And so we see people celebrating and holding up signs like "I heart the comet" and "Don't panic, it's completely safe." Not really reassuring there. And then
that's good.
Yeah. Then we cut into the movie theater. This is in LA. I don't think it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally LA.
It's LA. we cut inside the movie theater where they're having like a Comet special, and we're introduced to the main character, Regina. She's playing Tempest. She's doing a really great job, but is slightly annoyed at an entry further down the list. DMK has taken 6th place.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
This is a fun
Michael
little
Collin.
gag.
It is a fun little gag,
And it's a fun little gag because this is Catherine Mary Stewart from The Last Starfighter, who her character's boyfriend in that movie was introduced this exact same way, playing a video game and being really good at it.
Yes.
Anyway, never mind.
And then there's also an Asteroids and Centipede machine, but we don't see it until later. But anyways, fun
That's
fact.
fair. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So her boss, who's Uncle Harvey from UHF, tells her to take a flashlight and walk the house.
While he's selling fucking dealy boppers for, in what is today, $25 each.
Yep.
$9.50 is like more than $25 in like
Now
like
times.
future money. Yes.
Okay. So I see right away. I have to stop because have either of you ever worked in a movie theater?
I have not.
No.
Walking the house is a fucking miserable experience, and I do not wish it on my worst enemy.
What does walking the house entail? Please tell us.
It literally means you take a flashlight. Like when you're watching a movie and an usher will come in and just like kind of scan the room to make sure everybody's behaving.
Nobody's getting a handy in the back.
Exactly. That's what walking the house means. And you have to do it to every single theater. And in my time working at a movie theater, I was told to walk the house. It was the Friday night that, what was it? I want to say it was a new Saw movie or a new Grudge or something like that had just come out. And
no.
I'm sent into the lion's den, basically,
Oh,
where I go in and I look at the theater and it's just like rolling waves of laughter and people shouting that like back and forth across the theater. And like nobody is sitting still and watching the movie. And I just go back to the manager and I say, something's going on in there. I don't know what to do. And he tells me to go back and settle him down. And I said, no, you should look. So he comes with me and he looks and I'm like, what do I do? And he just says, all right, you're right. And we both walk out and just leave.
just let it ride.
Yeah,
Let them have
Nice.
it.
Like as long as nobody's complaining, it's just like, well, they're all having fun.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in a perfect world, I would have just said, you know what? Fine. But like he wanted me to check it. Somebody had complained. But like
Oh.
when it's an entire room of people, what do? Basically nothing.
You give that person a ticket and be like, hey, why don't you try again tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty
I mean,
much.
this person went to a sequel to a horror movie opening night. That's on them. They knew what they were getting into. Like, you know what kind of crowds come to this sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was no way this was going to end any other way.
Yeah, it's like going to like fucking like Phantom Menace midnight release and being like, what are all these fucking nerds in Yoda masks doing here?
Oh man, a Star Wars release where like the theater bans the wearing of robes, that would be a sight.
Did you ever have to interrupt anybody in the middle of the passionate throws, so to speak?
I never interrupted anybody, but I definitely like the last couple to leave the theater when the movie was over. Like the lady walked out first and the guy walked out behind her and he just like looked at me and he winked.
Okay. King shit.
So apparently he had a very good time.
Nice.
But anyway, so the point of all this is that Regina is stuck working at the movie theater while this comet's going overhead, and the rest of the entire world is like watching it out on the street, which turns out to be a good thing because literally everybody else gets vaporized immediately.
Turned into dust.
Basically, a biblical apocalypse happens outside, and Regina lives because she was getting down with the projectionist.
Yeah, there's a bit of like just throwaway dialogue that establishes that for capital R reasons, the entire room is lined with steel.
Yeah.
And ostensibly they're staying the night to have someone like take one of the film reels and make a copy of it, but it's also to fuck. Also her little sister Samantha, who is of the two of them, the one that's more the Valley Girl type.
Mm-hmm.
She's 16, and she's also the character who gets the most naked in this movie, so that's kind of fucking weird.
That's a little creepy, yeah. I had that thought.
A very odd choice. 1984. What are you doing, 1984?
Yeah, no kidding.
Don't tell me the actress was 16.
No, she was 19.
Doesn't. Okay, yeah, she did not look 16. So
no, because I had to look up how old all these people were because I was just very like, how old are any of them are supposed to be versus how old they actually are. And Hector, who we'll meet in a little bit, seems to be of that kind of like weird indeterminate age where it's like he could be anywhere from like 20 to like 50, and I believe you.
yes.
He's 6 years older than Catherine Mary. What's her last name?
Stewart.
Catherine Mary, not Mary Catherine somehow.
Catherine Mary Stewart. Yeah.
Anyway, Samantha, her little sister, is more like the Valley Girl stereotype, and she's at home getting into a fist fight with her stepmom, Doris. And it's explained also that their dad is a like
military guy.
He's a fucking like operator because he's down doing like shit that like should be illegal in like fucking Nicaragua or something.
He's like shooting people for the Dole Corporation. It sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah. God. Yeah.
But it's the good explanation for why they are capable peoples, because they had a psychotic dad who trained them to fight.
Yes.
And they are definitely going to need it.
So, Regina wakes up in the morning with Larry. Larry goes out to get what he thinks is the film back from the person who borrowed it to make a copy. And he gets eated by a zombie.
As you do.
As one does. Unbeknownst to Regina, who is working on her Tempest high score to knock DMK off of the list. Priorities. Yeah. I think this is also supposed to be Christmas Day at this point.
At some point in the film, somebody says it's 11 days until Christmas.
Oh, that's right, on the radio. But it was all pre-recorded, so
that's,
I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, it's all pre-recorded, so there's no really accounting for when that recording was made.
I think it's one of the things where it's just like, let's just do all of the little like interstitial between song things now, and then just take the rest of the month off. It's very much like Gerald Ford dead today at age 83.
Yeah.
Although in the in the intro where there's like a newscast, they say people will be getting a special Christmas present this year with the Comet, blah, 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 blah. So that made me believe it was Christmas Eve, but it's probably not.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good an excuse as any. So you know what? Let's just say it's Christmas Eve, and the plot of the movie takes place on Christmas Day. Because why not at this point?
No, I mean,
why not?
I'll say it's not unless she's going to cheer practice on Christmas Day. But yeah,
that's true.
That's fair.
That's a good point.
It's that weird nebulous like pre-Christmas, but it's not weird to put decorations up. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with 11 days.
Yeah.
So it's December 13th. Friday,
Ooh.
December 13th.
Unlucky numbers.
Yes, absolutely. That's what it is. There we go.
That's what I want to look up. What? Okay, keep going.
No, we don't need to worry about that. But so Regina goes outside, and there's a red haze cast over like the entire valley. After effects from this comet, and
LA guys, am I right?
Smog.
Check out all this smog, and that's exactly what she says. Like, oh my god, all this smog in the air. And it occurred to me, this is like the rare horror movie where getting laid actually saves lives.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. I was like, oh, for sure, these people are going to die quickly, but Regina's the main character, so that can't happen.
So like this is in the era when like the slasher kind of boom is in full swing. So that's definitely a conscious choice that they made. So I appreciate that.
Good job, Night of the Comet.
Yeah, I mean, when they went into this movie, they kind of like planned on making the guy who made it started out by like talking to teenagers being like, what would you do if, you survived like, the big one or whatever. And they started talking and they just go off of what they said. That's why it's kind of been a lot more lighthearted than you would expect for a movie with this premise. I think it's much better for it. you know?
Yeah, because like what Regina winds up doing is she goes home and she meets her sister Sam, and they go tour the city and they see how desolate it is, and they go straight to the mall.
No, they go to the radio station.
Yeah,
the radio
So she's
station.
hearing somebody on the radio station.
They go to the,
so
that's
they go.
right.
They spend like 20 minutes hanging out in the vaporwave radio station. It's great.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's
That's right. I
amazing.
forgot
Yeah,
about that.
Sam
said in the movie.
Sam ran away from home and ended up just sleeping the night, and like I'm guessing she just went to one of those places where they just sell sheds and just slept in one of the sheds.
Yeah, that's right. She does say that.
A steel shed.
A steel shed.
And then they hear someone on the radio, and they go to the radio station, and that's where they discover first off it's a recording playing because the guys at the radio station are taking the fucking holiday off, and they meet Hector there, who also survived because he slept in the trailer of his truck.
Should
Yeah.
be a lot more survivors considering all of the people that. Oh, he slept in the trailer, not in the back of his truck, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Because I think the big thing is like it has to be an area with no ventilation, because that becomes a point later.
That's true. Yeah, because pretty quickly we cut to like a facility out in the desert where a bunch of scientists have holed up underground, and they're monitoring the entire situation from afar. And they discover that, or they hear the broadcast that Sam and Regina are sending out over the radio, and they decide, well, we got to go find these people. Because everybody else has been, if you've not been vaporized, you've been turned into some kind of weirdo, like not quite a zombie, not quite. I don't know what they are exactly. They basically call them zombies, though.
But they're able to talk and they're able to use tools and things.
Right, because
but they're like slowly degenerating and seem like they're highly aggressive, and that's about all you need to know. I guess. They're slowly melting.
It's like there's no reason to trying to quantify this because they're basically just like ghouls wandering the streets. But there's not many of them. Like I kind of thought this was going to be the kind of movie where it would turn into a zombie film at some point, and there would just be hordes of these zombies everywhere. It's not. They don't really do that.
Yeah,
thank goodness for that too.
Yeah, the way they explain it is the people that were like quite a bit but not completely sheltered are the ones that are slowly turning into zombies rather than got vaporized immediately.
Yeah.
So that explains why there's not too many.
All right. And then now we get to the mall.
Yeah.
Hector goes to see his mom in San Diego. See if his family is all right. They're not, spoiler alert. But he's gone for a while, so they go to the mall. And they're hanging out at the mall. And then they get attacked by stockboys who have taken over the mall.
Oh god, yeah, the stockboys.
And the lead stockboy, at least until it's revealed that he's like deteriorating, his initial act reminds me a lot of excuse the something awful reference, Fragmaster.
Okay.
He could just basically be played by Fragmaster.
Yeah. I mean, he named Willie, so maybe it's just a young Bill Filmaff.
Yeah, he's like this scrawny dude. He's like putting on like these airs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of these dudes are like punk, or like in punk bands at the time.
That would make sense, yeah, because they give off, they very much give off like a kind of a DC hardcore sort of vibe. But I love the main guy's kind of like his sunglasses. He's got the aviators on, and it turns out that the aviators are kind of hiding the fact that his eyes are deteriorating because he's slowly becoming a ghoul. But he's just got this like weird kind of greaser energy to him. I don't love this guy, but I kind of love this guy.
It's a good character.
It's like, a fun character.
He's hamming it up. So good for him.
Yeah, and there's a huge gunfight at the mall, which is a great little scene because the girls come to the mall with MAC-10s loaded for bear, and they shoot the place up pretty fucking good.
Daddy would have gotten us Uzis.
Yeah.
I do like that line.
Apparently that was fucking ad-lib as well.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Which is like the MAC-10 was practically made for housewives.
So if you want to trust IMDb trivia, this movie only had a budget of like $700,000, and they were very economical with takes. They basically just said, if something fucks up, stay in character, and just we'll see what we can get.
With it. Yeah,
and it definitely has like a very, very loose kind of energy to it, which I mean, at a certain point, that energy started to flag for me. But early on, at least, it's pretty fun. It's almost like a hangout movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. The front half of this movie is way better than the back half.
When you get into the military base, it's kind of like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, when the plot kicks in, you're like, oh, they didn't know what they were doing with this, did they?
Yeah, fortunately, there was enough goodwill that they could cash it out before it outstayed its welcome. But
oh yeah, this is a spry 93 minutes, and you're out.
Yeah,
which is great. So what happens? The stockboys get shot up, and
by the military, by the think tank.
The scientist think tank shows up, and Sam gets knocked out with some kind of serum. We don't know that yet. We think she's just fucking dead.
Oh yeah. We think that basically. So there's a scientist lady. Her last name is White. I don't know what her first name is. Audrey. Okay, her name tag says White. She's kind of the good person the protagonist on the inside, but we don't know that yet.
And she's kind of like the most like doubtful of there being any hope for them as well.
Right.
Like she was the one that was objecting to even going out to begin with, of being like, why are we going to rescue someone just for them to come back here and go crazy,
Yeah. So more on that in a moment. So it's revealed that they this compound knew ahead of time, or predicted ahead of time, what the effects were going to be, but they left the vents open.
Yeah.
And so they got partially exposed, and so they're all slowly deteriorating.
So when they find the girls, they find that Sam is like scratching. She has a rash, which she has blamed on her nerves previously before she was talking to them.
Yeah.
But they were just like, oh no, she's obviously infected. Here, why don't you just give her just give her a nice injection, put her out nice and easy while we take while we take Reggie to the military base and steal our blood, but let's not tell her that yet.
Yes. Okay. So we should get into the main. I guess we should just go ahead and get into the main conceit of the plot.
The third act turn that this takes, I am not a fan of.
Nor am I. But...
Not a fan.
And
of
I don't
all.
think the movie's a fan of it either.
No, because they really don't spend a lot of time on it at all. But basically, what the scientists are doing is they're going out and they're rounding up everybody that survived to bring them back to the lab so they can harvest their blood.
To develop a serum.
Yeah, they're just basically inducing brain death in these people, just so they're not going to do anything, but they're still producing blood, and they're just using the blood to the idea I got was that they're making some serum that is not a cure, but it's slowing the effects enough to buy them time, but they just need a lot of blood to do it.
Yeah, it's a stopgap. Yeah. And
so they find two kids earlier, and Audrey or Aubrey, which is it? Audrey. Audrey has an objection to this, and we think it's, we originally think it's because she thinks they're going to turn, but we, come to find out she objects to, hey, let's not steal the blood from these children.
Let's not effectively murder these two children that we can... Hey, talking about family members that are dying, you know what I suddenly just realized also happens in this film?
What's that?
Their stepmom dies because of the comet. We got a dead mom alert.
Oh. I mean, we can assume their bio mom is also passed as well.
We got a double dead mom alert. The rare, vaunted, double dead mom alert.
If you kind of think about it, most of the moms are probably dead in this film.
Well, okay, but I can only smash the button so many times, okay?
I know.
This isn't like the rap horn that I could just, as much as I want.
What if this is like 28 days later, where as soon as you get into Nevada, it's just like, what are you guys Comet? What are you guys talking about?
You get far enough into Nevada and you just run into Cousin Eddie in his snake farm. He has no idea what's going on.
Spoiler alert for 28 Days Later, but I don't think I was ever going to watch it, so that's okay.
Just for the record, Cousin Eddie from the Vacation movies does not show up in 28 Days Later.
No, I know that. I'm talking about the Nevada thing.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways.
Wait, no, 28 Days Later does not take place in Nevada either.
Oh no, are we wait, what ending
Just
28
from-
days later are we talking about?
From what you're saying, I'm inferring that the plot twist to 28 Days Later is that the outbreak is only occurring in a small geographic area, and as soon as you leave it, everything's totally fine. Is that the central conceit of it?
No.
Okay, not a spoiler alert for 28 Days Later then.
Okay, no, am I thinking of one of the alternate endings then where they get to the edge of England and then realize that like, oh, the Air Force is right there.
I mean, I thought the idea was that like an Air Force pilot was flying overhead to check for survivors.
Yeah, the idea I got was that the problem was literally isolated to England, like to Britain, which good riddance anyway.
Now we come back around to what I thought was the big spoiler alert for 28 Days Later.
See, I still didn't get that, and even if that's true, I don't consider that a spoiler, really.
Okay,
we're getting off the track.
Basically, it was Earth all along.
Yeah.
So,
but you don't need to watch 28 Days Later, though. No, not than this year. It's no.
Okay. Where were we? So they're stealing blood from people. They put down Samantha. We think that Audrey puts down Samantha. They take Reggie back to the base. And then Audrey hangs back with one of the other scientists to see if Hector comes back, because Samantha and Reggie are talking about Hector coming back from San Diego.
Yeah.
But Audrey ices the other scientist and then hangs out at the radio station. Come to find out, she is breaking down pretty quickly because she was exposed. But she reveals the full extent of the plot of this think tank, writes everything down in notes for Hector, and then she uses the actual syringe of euthanasia.
The actual syringe of kill yourself juice on herself.
Of kill yourself juice.
Smilex.
What is it? A sodium pentothal?
It's Smilex.
Milex. Okay.
Yes. No, Smilex.
Smilex.
Yeah.
Love that Joker.
She injects herself with the ultimate serum, if you will.
Yes.
And says goodbye. And then we cut back to the base. We still don't know that Sam hasn't actually been killed yet, by the way. Or no, wait. I think she reveals that to Hector.
So this is also where we see them getting ready to put these two kids down. And it's a very upsetting little scene.
It's not great.
Because they're telling the kids that they're going to be put to sleep so that they can be sent to the North Pole. And when you wake up, you'll be there with Santa Claus.
Forever.
And then the second one says, in fact, you'll live there with Santa for the rest of your life. Oh, boy. Talk about dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Really, really.
I actually have an actor and or actress was in Other Things thing.
Oh, please, Brad, hit us.
So did you know this one?
Is it the girl?
The girl child. She's like a big time game and cartoon voice actress.
She's
now.
the teenage robot.
She's the teenage robot. She's also in one of the more recent Fire Emblems, which is kind of a big deal. And she's in a bunch of other stuff too.
Wait, who is this? Wait, what's her name?
Janice Kawaye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of stuff now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that her IMDb photo is from that scene from this movie when they're getting ready to kill her.
Really, she's not particularly public, as I understand.
I mean, I understand that, but I mean, I don't know. You'd think that they would find a better photo.
Yeah, you'd think she'd have at least one headshot from her her management, but
even just something more recent. Anyways,
carry on.
Hector and Reggie arrive.
No, Hector and Sam. Sorry, Reggie's already there.
Sam.
Hector and Sam. Yeah. So Hector and Sam arrive, and Hector immediately blows up the scientist's van, shoots a zombie, and rescues everyone.
Well, sort of.
to a degree.
He pretends to be a cowboy.
Yes.
And then conks out the guard.
Yeah,
lets Sam into the compound.
Are breaking in as Reggie is breaking out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a happy accident.
But yeah, long story short, that's what happens.
Yeah, and that's they all reconvene and everyone's happy and everyone lives happily ever after. And the rain comes and washes all of the human dust and clothes away.
So someday a real rain will come.
And then at the end of the movie, Regina and Hector and the two kids have formed this weird family unit.
Yep.
And then Sam's just kind of hanging out, and there's another survivor, and lo and behold, it's DMK.
Yeah, Donkey Michael Kong.
Donkey Michael Kong.
Yeah, his name is like actually Danny Mason Keene or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Donkey Michael Kong is
Maynard James Keenan. It's Maynard James Keenan.
Sure, yeah.
This movie is so much better when they're just messing around in an abandoned LA. Like, the end of this movie just reminds you of how much better the first two acts of this movie are.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's so silly and like stupid, but in a good way, you know.
It's no comparison. It reminds me of the more fun parts of like Fallout 3 New Vegas, where like you're just fucking around and ignoring the plot.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to compare it to like The Last Man on Earth, where like sure the plot's there, but the more fun thing is just watching Will Forte just kind of bounce around town all on his lonesome.
Yes,
and yeah, that's where the movie really shines. Like the zombie part, the Comet part, not particularly great. The scientists and their scheme, not particularly great. But Sam and Regina and Hector hanging around L.A., kind of just doing whatever they want. A lot of fun.
Santa's Workshop, yes, a lot of fun. Santa's Workshop, cut out the military complex plot. Just have the badniks be like the stockboys who are partially exposed and like want to take over LA or something.
Or just have the scientists show up and start like looking for don't take them back to the military base. Have the scientists going out because they're that desperate, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, even go the Warriors route and just have like different random gangs wandering LA and they have to just evade all of them.
That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm.
You know,
kind of what I'm
that way you get a fun flavor of like all the survivors and the different cliques that have sprung up literally in like the 24 hours since everybody died. All teenagers, because all the teenagers were inside having sex. Because
all the cool teenagers,
all the cool kids. Because as Regina's guy says to her early in the film, he's like, "It's not like you can't watch the Comet on TV." Good stuff. That's I approve of this tweak for sure. But so yeah, that's Night of the Comet. Should we take it to the crankometer?
Yeah.
All right. So the crankometer, folks, is our patented XY axis for rating Christmas movies. No other podcast in the world does it the way we do it, and that's the way we like it. The X-axis is the Christmas quotient, how Christmassy a film is, and the Y-axis is how good a film is. So, gentle friends, Night of the Comet, X-axis, Christmasity. What are we thinking? Almost a value neutral, don't you think?
0. Like, we get some of that Christmas flavor at the start.
It's just one of the movies that takes place in December.
Yeah, it's almost that sort of business.
It really, really is.
Because there's nothing in the plot that could have, like, you know.
I appreciate that the mall is decked out for
nothing in the rulebook says this movie can't take place in July.
Absolutely not.
And there's nothing in the plot that necessitates it takes place in December, so.
No, I mean, they're set in LA. Yeah, like at the end of the movie, Sam is dressed for the beach. Like she's wearing a bathing suit with a wrap over it.
Yeah, essentially. So yeah, I'm good with a 0 on this because there's really not a whole lot of Christmas to it at all. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked there was as little as there was, because we do tend to pick movies around here these days where Christmas is kind of the backdrop. But boy, this one really is like the flimsiest possible use, isn't it?
Isn't Hector also dressed up as a Santa at one point?
Yeah.
Christmas.
There's Christmas trees in a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's
still a 0.
Yeah, it's just a nice. Yeah, it's just a nice thing to put on the set. I didn't hate it. You know that they did that. It was fine.
Yes.
0.
Oh, I do remember the first scene where Regina's driving around LA on a motorcycle. She pulls up to this one car that stopped at a stoplight. There's nobody in it, but the radio is just playing
Christmas music.
Yeah, just playing Christmas
Dean
music.
Martin or Sinatra singing Jingle Bells or something?
Yeah, it's Dean Martin doing Jingle Bells. And it's genuinely kind of creepy. So
It's good.
it's pretty good. Is it enough to get it a 1? I don't really think so.
No, I don't think
So we're gonna go with a 0 for the Christmas.
Yeah, I mean,
portion.
it helps with the unsettling vibe. It doesn't do much for the merriment, though.
No, not at all. So then the y-axis, the quality quotient. How good did we think Night of the Comet was? Did we enjoy it?
It's not a good movie, but it was enjoyable. Let's put it that way.
I'll agree to that. Like I get that it's kind of a cult movie for a reason, but it was a little too shaggy for me, honestly. I did not dislike it though.
I'm like a 0 or a 1 ish.
I'm gonna give this a 1 or a 2. I did like it quite a bit. Like, I enjoyed my time with it. It's not something I necessarily feel I need to go back to, but I mean, it's fun to see a movie with like it's fun to see a movie where like it has like capable protagonists basically in like a disaster or like a scary movie.
Oh yeah, that's
I like
true.
that.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah,
overly like competent, but they're competent enough that like they don't just spend the entire movie fucking screaming.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's nice. I mean, I kind of liked what was going on overall. Like I said, the I could have done without the military base. I like the scientists showing up and like ruining shit, but I'd rather they have all just showed up, like rolled into town from their base rather than drag the movie back to the base.
Yeah, agreed. I kind of wish that the zombies were more of a threat than they were, because they're pretty easily dispatched and there aren't that many of them. But like, if you're looking at the DVD, like the Blu-ray, there's a mechanic and a cop and a detective, and they're all zombies. It's like the Zombie Village people. I kind of thought it was going to be like a zombie gang, to be perfectly honest.
Oh yeah, some of the people involved in the movie like really don't like the DVD release because they said the cover is just absolutely bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Like, not just that, but also like, I have not seen it, but they said something about like the blurb on the back just being like, these two dumb broads from LA, basically.
Not the case. Regina, and to a certain extent Sam, are both very capable young women.
Yeah, I mean, the DVD that I've got, the Shout Factory release, it just calls them Valley Girls. That's as far as it goes. So I don't know if this is the one they're complaining about, but
That's probably it, yeah, because it's like Sam acts that way because she's a teenager, but it's like, no, they're both trained in like martial arts, like hand to hand, and they both know how to fucking shoot guns. Their dad's a fucking psychotic Green Beret. I mean,
yeah. I don't have a problem with any of that, to be honest. I understand, as I understand it, this is kind of like an early influence on what wound up becoming Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
yeah.
So for whatever that's worth, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to give it a 1 because like I definitely didn't dislike any of it. I just part of me wishes it was more fun than it was,
Yeah.
but it's fine. I can't muster any negative feelings toward it, but God, I wish I liked it more, you know?
Yeah.
One.
Like, and also just, it's clearly riffing on sort of the slasher movie tropes of the day, but also it was written and directed by a guy who obviously is trying to make this like a throwback to like weirdo 50s sci-fi movies. And I don't know that gels very well.
Yeah, like at the same time that it is like, has like, especially for an 80s like horror-ish movie, surprisingly strong like female leads, it still is totally like exploitative because they go out of their way to have a couple of opportunities to get Samantha running around in her underwear.
There's a lot of male gaze going on, even the introduction with Regina.
Oh yeah.
Like, we get this long pan up, and then but the Sam is by far the most egregious. Like, there's a double bad dream sequence where like, it's bad news bears.
Yeah, I just want to lay this out because this is like, this is really like, what movie? What's going on? Oh, okay, we're done with that. Good, thank you.
Yeah, it seems like it almost did it to tick a box and get it out of its system.
Yeah, so it starts out with, like, it cuts to, like, Sam drinking and driving, wearing, like, a wedding dress or something, and then 2 cops pull her over. So, like, you kind of like, I guess it's going to be a bad dream, and the cops turn into zombies, and then she wakes up, goes into the bathroom, and, like, starts taking, like, a truck stop shower, and, like, the camera, like, fucking lingers, and then one of the cop zombies bursts back in, and then she wakes up again. Which is, like...
Yeah.
It's a fun, like, double fake-out scene, but it's just, like... You did this just to get the cheerleader to take her clothes off. Like, that's the point of the scene.
Yeah, and that's, again, that's kind of part and parcel of, like, yeah, this was definitely an 80s movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
And my feeling on that is... If you want to ogle Kelly Maroney, just go watch Chopping Mall. It's a much better movie than this.
Yeah, but even so, I can't fault it too much for that because, like you said, it's just like win the 80s, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's definitely a product of its time. So, it is what it is. I hate saying that.
I'm not gonna say you can't fault it. I more mean is that you can't fault it any more than you can fault anything else that came out that same fucking time.
Right? Like how mad can you reasonably be at it? You know.
And then later on when they're doing like it's like, what are 2 teenage girls going to do with, like, when they have absolutely nothing better to do with their time? They're going to go to the mall. They're like in Elves. They're going to go to the mall and try on clothes.
Yeah.
And again, like in Elves, this is just, of course, leads to, like, one of them prancing around in lingerie just cause.
Mm-hmm. I mean, almost to the point where I feel like this movie is making fun of that, but it does it in a way where
it's one of those ironic shitposting is still shitposting things. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're kind of being like, but at the same time, like, you're still pointing the camera at the scantily clad lady, which it's, you know, I don't want to complain too much, but it does feel uncomfortable in this day and age that the movie is just so blatant about it, basically.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's definitely a good way to put it. So we're going to land on this on Night of the Comet, a 0, +1. So for anybody who's following along at home on their Christmas Creeps approved crankometer, you can mark that one down. And Home for the Horrordays is set to continue. Do we want to call a shot for our next episode, guys?
Fun fact, in A Christmas Creeps First, I got this film through my local library.
Ooh, a fancy lad.
Yeah, there's a service called Canopy, unbeknownst to me before this, that takes library cards. And my library was part of the system. And so I was able to log in and view this film gratis in HD with no ads. Thank you. My tax dollars at work.
Okay, if we hadn't just watched a weird 80s cult movie, I would say absolutely let's watch Bloodbeat next. And I might still say let's watch Bloodbeat next anyway.
I mean, we could always watch 3 in October. We could always extend Home for the Horrordays into November. There ain't no rule in the rule book about that.
Yeah, fuck it. Every year can be the year of Luigi. Who's stopping you?
I mean, there's plenty of people already out there who think that this is what we do year round, so we might as well just lean into it.
What, watch Christmas movies?
No, Christmas horror movies.
Could be the...
We should have fucking, with the name, we should have just fucking done that anyway. We run out a lot quicker, but...
Lord knows there's enough Christmas horror movies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I keep a list on Letterboxd. I try to keep it updated, but there's like 90 on my watch list, so it ain't like we don't have options.
I mean, if you put another Krampus movie in front of me, I will pretend I'm not at my computer.
Okay, fair enough. So...
I'll draw the line at I'm done with Krampuses. I'll draw the line at that. Bloodbeat does sound very fun, though.
Oh, wow. I just read the synopsis. This rules. Let's do Bloodbeat.
Oh, yeah.
I've only been trying to get y'all to do this for like 3 years.
All right. So until I decide like Monday 2 weeks from now that we're going to watch like Santa Buddy 6 or something instead, we're watching Bloodbeat.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Bloodbeat's available on Tubi. Go watch it and come back because we're going to have a rip-roaring discussion about a family in rural Wisconsin who's stalked by the spirit of a Japanese samurai warrior. And yes, it is a Christmas movie, Virginia.
And I'll just say that dog fart movie company, what makes all the Santa buddies and everything, you got like 2 weeks to put a new one out, buddy.
I'd love to see him try.
Get some peanut butter in those dogs' mouths.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Christmas Creeps. I hope you've enjoyed your first foray into Home for the Horrordays this year. We have some really fun shit lined up for the rest of the month. And if you'd like to yell at us on the internet about anything at all, you can email us anything at xmascreeps@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at Christmas Creeps. We're on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you download podcasts. Do the thing that they all say to do, like and subscribe. And tell a friend, because Home for the Horrordays is the most wonderful time of the year, and we would love to have as many of you wacko creepazoids out there joining us as possible.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thank you so much. We know you have a choice in holiday podcasting entertainment, and for some reason you've chosen us, and God bless you. Oh, boy. So for Christmas Creeps, I'm Joseph Wade.
I'm Bradford.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, I'm Johnny Five, the human robot.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. You guys. Yeah.
Please don't bid on the house I'm bidding on in Final Fantasy XIV. If you're on my server, I want that house. I need more yard space to put more candy canes in it. 20 slots is not enough. I need 40 or 30, whatever medium is.
Jonathan's decorating his video game house for Christmas, everybody.
You get a front yard. Let's be honest, it's the closest most millennials are going to get to home ownership. So
if I put giant candy canes in the front yard right now, people would get annoyed at me. If I do it in the video game, they'll still get annoyed at me, but they can't do a damn thing about it.